We are live on the Sun Princess, just outside of the port of Los Angeles, cruising the Pacific Ocean. I hope you're ready for the Summer Extreme 4 prediction show on the Hotwire, because guess what? It starts right now. Oh yeah, it's me. It's Tommy, Tommy Knox. I hope you guys are happy to hear my voice again, because I'm so happy to be talking to you. I'm live here on the Sun Princess. All right, the cruise is underway. We are 2 days away from Summer Extreme 4, and we're gonna go through every match right now, break it down, and we're gonna make our predictions. And let's not wait. Let's start right now. Okay? First match of the evening, as tradition is always, the Bombshell Roulette Championship match. Normally we have an X over the pool match. That is foregone this year for a submission match. Right? Someone must quit. Someone must tap out. This has been brewing for a few weeks now. Of course, bubbled over just 2 weeks ago on Climax Control, with Kate Steele putting Natalie McKinley in the armbar. You know, Natalie McKinley is a former roulette champion. She's a great competitor. But Kate is, to me, just the best female champion on the roster right now. She's proven that. She is the longest reigning, or I'm sorry, will be the longest reigning Bombshell Roulette champion if she wins this match. And I think she will win this match. I think that she will make Natalie McKinley tap out, and I think her reign will continue past this Sunday, and it should, because it's probably the best roulette title reign we've ever had. Next up on the card is a triple threat match, the number one contendership for the Superstar Roulette Champion. And naturally, this match will be contested under SCW Roulette Division rules, meaning we will spin the wheel for a stipulation. Marcus Reeves, Travis Nathaniel Andrews, and Matt Spears. Let's take a look at each one of these competitors. Matt Spears has been somewhat disappointing from his ferocious debut just a few months ago. I think he still has what it takes. He's got the look, he's got the natural ability, but it just hasn't all clicked for him just yet. We've seen spurts, flashes of brilliance from him, but he certainly hasn't put it all together. Another one, almost verbatim, is Travis Nathaniel Andrews. Right, we've seen moments of sheer brilliance, possible Hall of Fame talent out of this guy, and then we've seen moments where he just leaves you thinking, "What the fuck did I just see?" Neither one of those guys, I think, has what it takes to be a roulette champion yet at this moment right now. Marcus Reeves, however, does. He's got the look, he's got the talent, he's got the experience. He's been very good since he's come. I mean, he lost to Rage in an internet title match. You certainly can't blame him for that one. I think that Marcus Reeves will beat Travis Nathaniel Andrews and Matt Spears in this match, and go on to face the winner of the Roulette Championship match, the Fatal 4-Way Ultimate X over the Pool match, which just so happens to be the next match on the card. James Siskini will defend against Ryan Keys, Chris Shipman, and Casey Williams. And as is a Summer Extreme tradition, all four men will be suspended over a pool The last person remaining on that line, again, the goal is to drop every man off of their cable and drop them into the pool. The last remaining attached person to their cable is still, or will be, the roulette champion. Um, Again, let's take a look at all these competitors. Casey Williams has had numerous shots, had numerous belts over the past few months, and has come up short every single time. I'm not sure what it is about Casey. Casey seems to be really aggressive and look fantastic, but as soon as gold is on the line, he seems to choke up a bit. And I would be shocked if he didn't choke up a bit here. The next three guys, though, have looked really good. Chris Shipman, to me, I feel like is probably just a class below the other two guys in this match. But he's a wild card, Put him in the right situation and he can make a lot of noise, right? He's looked really good as of late. I would not be surprised if he won this match. Ryan Keys, also, again, one of those guys, immense potential. Hasn't tapped it all completely. He had a one-on-one shot where he took James Siskini to the limit for James's roulette title just a few weeks ago. And again, I think we'll battle James to the limit here. However, I do think that James Siskini has a stranglehold on this roulette division, a stranglehold on that roulette title, and I think he will continue to have that stranglehold on both past Summer Extreme 4. I do believe, just like his counterpart in the Bombshell division, K Steel, that James Siskini will retain at Summer Extreme 4. Special challenge match, Blanca Chastain versus Candy Overton. I tell you what, Blanca Chastain better win this match. Would be really upset if she didn't. But you know what, Candy Overton, this whole match honestly just doesn't excite me. I'm not really sure why it's on Summer Extreme, but would be interesting. Grudge match, Veronica Taylor versus Christina Bentley. These two have had a beef going back to Into the Void 5, and finally we're going to settle it. I do think that Veronica Taylor will win this match. She's been struggling as of late. Hasn't really looked like her old self. I think Miles Blake now in her corner will help her get back to her former championship self. Again, Veronica Taylor is possibly the best tag team wrestler we've ever had in this company. Certainly one of them, right? She has to be in the conversation. Multiple tag title reigns. Has never quite figured it out as a singles competitor. I think she's going to get her foot in the right direction here. I think she will beat Christina Bentley. World Bombshell Tag Team Championship. The Angel Clan, Uriela Abadan and Lucy Serafina, defeated Team Hero Roxy Johnson and Kira Fisher Johnson at Into the Void 5 to make history, to be the first team to tackle those two and take their titles away. They will be defending against Team Technicolor, the sisters of Remy and Edie Grayson. I do believe that the Angel Clan will retain here. I think that Remy and Edie have a lot of potential, especially Remy. They, to me, look like future stars in this company. I just don't know if they are quite the polished team that the Angel Clan is right now. And because of that, I think that Yuri and Lucy will retain and will continue on their reign as World Bombshell Tag Team Champions. Singles match, Dimitri, and speaking of Angel Clan, versus Samuel Devereaux. This is an interesting match. Samuel, of course, is the husband, baby daddy for Melanie Gabrielle. Dimitri, of course, has looked solid. As you know, his stock was up for me last week in a great showing, even in a loss, but it was a great showing against J2H. This is one of those ones where it could go either way, but I'm not going to be a bitch, and I'm going to make a prediction. I am going to predict that Dimitri wins this match, but I would not be shocked at all if Samuel does. It's going to be a tough competition. I think this is one of those bouts on the undercard that can really steal the show. Again, another singles match: Roxy Johnson versus Amy Jane. Amy Jane is the opposite of Dimitri. Her stock was down for me last week. Why was her stock down? Because she debuted with a fire, even though in a loss. But you saw in her she was hungry, she was ready, she wanted to be competition for people here in SCW, and she's really looked flat since that first loss. And Roxy Johnson, to me, is one of the best in the world, maybe of all time. I think Roxy will defeat her handily, and then Roxy will hopefully use that as a jumping point off to something more, excuse me, something more aggressive next cycle, leading up to high stakes. We do have a tag team grudge match on the menu for Summer Extreme 4. The Aquin brothers, Joshua and Austin, have been making life living hell for our resident losers, Johnny Tsunami and Caleb. Houston, sorry, was taking a drink of water. So, to me, Johnny and Caleb had so much potential, and it's so obvious now that neither one of them could really give a fuck, especially Caleb. So, I think that Joshua and Austin will win this one. They'll win it handily, because as of right now, Bad Company is just not competition, right? And I think that they will use that as a jumping off point to keep their momentum going, to hopefully challenge soon here for the World Tag Team Championship, because they deserve it, right? They're the hottest tag team on the roster right now, period. All right, everybody's talking about them for a reason, and they deserve a shot at that belt. Speaking of tag team wrestling, Team BJ, Ben Jordan, and Jamie Dean will defend their titles once again against the members of the Elders, John Doe and Eisenstein. Ben Jordan and Jamie Dean have been fine champions. To me, they've resurrected those belts a little bit in the middle of this tag team renaissance that we've had going on here in Sin City Wrestling. But I do think it's time for some new champions. I really thought that the Elders would have beaten Team BJ last time. I think they'll get the job done this time. I think we will crown new World Tag Team Champions at Summer Extreme. Next up on the docket was being billed as a final farewell. Drake Green in a challenge match will take on the debuting Scott Sanders. This is an interesting one because we really have no scouting report on Scott whatsoever. From what I understand, he's a former NCAA heavyweight champion, and apparently is going to inherit a lot of money at some point. That's all we know about the guy, right? Drake, on the other hand, we know a lot about, right? Big star, former three-time world heavyweight champion, multi-time champion in his career in other places. And for that reason, I can't pick in good conscience Scott Sanders because I don't know shit about him. He looks like he could be good, but he also looks like he could just be a face that has no talent. So the jury is still out on Scott Sanders, so I have to pick Drake Green to win his final match here in Sin City Wrestling. Bombshell Internet Championship match. Amy Marshall, all right, former Grand Slam champion, will take on Melody Grace, the current Bombshell Internet champion. These internet divisions have been, almost like the forgotten childs, right, for a couple of different reasons, unique reasons actually between both belts. We'll talk about, obviously, the Bombshell title first. There were so many bombshells, high-quality bombshells, wrapped up in this World Bombshell Championship match we'll talk about later. So the internet division kind of just fell by the wayside, these past couple of months. I think it's a shame because Melody Grace, to me, is one of the best competitors on the roster. She can make a fine champion. She just really needs a really good challenge. And I think she's going to get that in Amy Marshall. Again, Amy Marshall is a Hall of Famer, former World Bombshell champion, multi-time tag team champion, former roulette champion, former internet champion. I think that she will push Melody to the limit, but I think Melody will retain. I think Melody will continue her reign, and hopefully she can get a little more traction with that belt, get a little bit more of her share of the spotlight in the Bombshell division going forward because she deserves it, and that title deserves it. Speaking of Internet Championships, this triple threat match. Superstar Internet Champion Rage will defend against Steve Ramone and Kane. We talked at length about this last week. There's like zero buzz around this match. And again, let's talk about each competitor, right? Kane, I don't want to beat a dead horse, has not been the guy that he was for years since his return. Will he snap out of that at the pay-per-view? Maybe, right? When the lights are shining brightest, he may realize, hey, I'm the fucking man, right? Steve Ramone, most underrated wrestler in the world, and actually has never held gold in Sin City Wrestling, believe it or not. It's a fucking shame. And then Rage, former World Heavyweight Champion, former Tag Team Champion, current two-time Internet Champion. I think that Rage will retain here. If someone is going to beat him, it's going to be Steve. It's not going to be Kane. But I do think that Rage retains here and continues what is turning into a impressive second title run here. And hopefully he can get a better another better share of the spotlight here for that belt, because again, the title deserves it and the reign that he's having also deserves it. Co-main events. First one is a rematch, a 2 out of 3 falls match. J2H versus Despair for Jay's World Heavyweight Championship. This is I thought that the last match was awesome. I think that making this 2 out of 3 falls is smart because it will, no matter who wins or loses, there'll be some finality to it. And this is probably, to me, on the card, the toughest match to call because it really could go either way. I think ultimately J2H will retain, and I'll tell you why. He is a better ring general, a better technician than Despair. Despair can be more entertaining, can be more high impact, can make more of a splash in the match, and could kind of deliver, that hypothetical one-punch knockout type of move that could end Jay's reign. But I think Jay will overcome that. I think he'll retain once again, and he'll continue what is, starting to look like it might possibly be a historic World Championship run. The main event, right? We talked about the overstuffing of the Bombshell division, the World Bombshell division, for a couple of months beforehand. Powers that be, Hot Stuff Mark Ward, and Christian Underwood recognized that, and they said, let's have a match, and when it's done, we'll hit the reset button, and we'll push everybody out, right? Because you had so many people that, with realistic claims to the number one contendership, you had to do anything. You had to do something about it, right? So why not put everyone in a giant cage, make them eliminate each other, and the best will remain in the center of the ring. So, again, I like this trend of breaking down each competitor. So we'll start with Jesse Salco. Jesse Salco, to me, is a bit over her head here. Not because she can't be a World Bombshell champion, because I don't think she can beat all of the women in the match one-on-one. All right? So if I'm looking here as a prediction, I'm looking at who can beat everybody in the match one-on-one. Because remember, this is elimination, right? And it's random. So Jessie could end up being one of the first competitors, and she would have to beat everybody in the match. I don't know if I could see Jessie doing that. For that reason, I'm not going to pick her. You know who could beat everybody in the match? And that's Sam Marlowe. Sam Marlowe, to me, did the impossible when she beat Micah back in February, right? She certainly sent some shockwaves through the SCW universe. And her first run was really good. It was fun, it was exciting. She's a fun champion, someone everyone could get behind. And then all of a sudden, we started having a little bit of musical chairs or musical title right? It bounced to Mercedes, it bounced around. She got the title back, and she couldn't hang on to it. And to me, that was kind of indicative of a little bit of pressure on her that she wasn't able to stand up to it. Mercedes Vargas is another one who, was struggling for a few months, right? Was put in a position to get this title when I said very vocally that she didn't deserve it, but she took advantage of it and she won, right? So she won her match, became the World Bombshell Champion, only to lose it immediately afterwards. And that was kind of that start of that hot potato belt thing. To me, she's fantastic. Obviously, now she's a Grand Slam champion. I think that she could be the face of the Bombshell division if she really wanted to, or if she really started to get hot, started winning. But I'm not so sure that it will be her night in 2 days. Kira Fisher Johnson, right? Kira Fisher Johnson proclaimed herself as the number one contender after winning a qualifying match. To me, she is not the number one contender. And listen, it's not that I don't think she could be a World Bombshell champion. It's just, to me, she hasn't consistently proven that she could be. Right? She was a roulette champion, a good roulette champion, a couple title defenses under her belt. But over the last 2 years, even though she has an incredible tag team record, again, as I've said very vocally multiple times, she's one half of probably the best tag team ever, right? Her singles record does not match up to that. I don't see her, again, we talked about it with Jesse Salco, being able to beat everybody in the match one-on-one. I don't think Kira can do that. I don't see her beating Crystal Miller one-on-one. I don't see her beating Micah one-on-one. So, that being said, I don't think she will win this match. It doesn't mean she can't be a World Bombshell champion. I don't want people to take what I'm saying the wrong way. It's just not going to be this match, right? Next up on the docket is, of course, Micah, who in a couple hours will be Micah Green. Micah is the greatest Bombshell champion we've ever had, right? Second only, if anyone could compete to her, was maybe Delia Darling, right? But I do believe her championship run is the best that title's ever had, possibly this company's ever had. She's the biggest star in that division, and for a reason, right? When we talk about who can beat everyone one-on-one in this match, she can, without a doubt, beat everybody in this match one-on-one. She's beaten most of the people in this match one-on-one. The other person in this match, of course, is World Bombshell Champion Crystal Miller, who, to me, is a very deserving champion. She struggled a little bit to get to that mountaintop, but she's there, right? And she looks good with that belt. So when I look at this match and when I want to make a prediction, again, I look at Jesse Salco and I look at Kira Fisher Johnson. To me, they cannot beat everybody in this match one-on-one, so I can't in good conscience pick them to win the match. Mercedes Vargas, right? Again, although there's some untapped potential still in there, she hasn't shown any of it as of late. And the fact, we talked about it last week, on the go-home show before the biggest match possibly of her career, she's talking about the Internet Champion. Her focus isn't on the World Bombshell Championship. So for that reason, I can't, in good conscience, pick her. Sam Marlowe, right? Although she was a really good Bombshell champion, right? I think she got lucky in the sense she caught Micah on Micah's downswing. Micah was getting burnt. I don't know if she could beat Micah one-on-one when Micah's at her best. She has, though, beaten Crystal Miller. So, again, we talk about can she beat everybody one-on-one. I'm not sure of that. So in that sense, I can't in good conscience pick her. So that leaves us with Michael and Crystal, right? And when you look at this, you look at it as who can beat who. If this is a one-on-one match, who is going to win? And there's only one person who has beaten the other person 4 times now, and that's Micah. Micah has consistently beaten Crystal. She has proven that she is Crystal Miller's Achilles heel. And I have to, again, as an analyst and a journalist who was celebrated, I have to go with the trend, right? And the trend tells me that Crystal cannot beat Micah. So, if you're going to ask me who's going to win the first ever SCW Chamber of Fate match for the World Bombshell Championship at Summer XXXTreme IV, I'm going to say Micah is going to walk out with a Bombshell title and start her second World Bombshell title reign this Sunday night. A nice wedding gift to her from Tommy Knox. That's all the matches we got. I hope you bought the pay-per-view. I hope you guys out here on the cruise are having fun. I know I am. I look forward to seeing you all again just in a week from today as we recap all of Summer XXXTreme IV. And for those of you that couldn't care less, I couldn't care less about you, so go fuck yourself.